Welcome back, everybody. We are here at the LCK 2020 Summer, and we're just getting into our second match. Had some nice dinner, and we are going into Hanwha up against Team Dynamics. Hanwha struggling a little bit. Definitely not getting off on a great foot here. 0-3 to start. They're really trying to mix up their roster right at the beginning of the split, which will generally lead to these issues. Whereas Team Dynamics, they look pretty good against the lower half, but so far did struggle in their last matchup. Well, actually, they played Southern Prince in their last matchup, so they did okay there, but they did fall down to Afrika. So Afrika, not exactly top 3, but also one of the stronger teams, and Afrika did take that win. At least Team Dynamics were able to pick up the one win. So very curious to see how, where is this team exactly going to rank? And just based off what we've seen so far, I think they should be at least ahead of Hanwha.
Yeah, they should, and I think that Hanwha Life, part of the problems for them is that their top side is just so weak, and I'm not referring to the top laner, I'm saying everything that isn't bot lane is definitely going to...
Yeah, for sure, and it's something we'll have to take a look at here as we see the points of the match. Hanwha Life is in a quicksand of 3 losing match streak. It actually does feel like they're in a bit of quicksand. Can they get their first victory against recently promoted Dynamics? New team out on the block. Dynamics is off to a smooth start, 2-1. The only loss they did take was against, of course, Afrika, as I mentioned before. And another big question, what is going to be Hanwha Life's lineup coming into this one? It's not... You never really know who's going to come out here. They started with Cuvée and Haru. They began to swap in bits and pieces, and then all of a sudden Dudu and Cad began to come in. And audacious rookie DYN. Viper's not in his prime at the moment. I'll carry the series is what he said, but Viper's really the one saving grace. He and Lehens are really the ones that are kind of carrying the team at the moment, as we're going to take a look at some stats.
Yeah, team goal differential at 25 minutes, they're on average almost 4,500 behind their last place in the league. Team goal difference at 15, 22.05, so they managed to double that after 10 minutes, so
okay,
they're accelerating somewhere. Dragon percentage, 9th in the league. Herald percentage, 9th in the league. These are very difficult stats, and again, we're going to see the issues. Well, maybe we won't, maybe. They've turned some stuff around, but it's been a pretty constant trend. And the victory that they ended up getting over T1 surprised many people with what ended up happening.
Yeah, it was a bit confusing as to how Hanwha Life were even able to take one game away from this, from T1, for sure. But T1 has shown that they can stumble as well, as we did see earlier on. You see that the lineup here, most importantly, as I was talking about, they're going back, actually, to their veterans. Cuvée and Haru are playing today, so no Dudu, not yet, at least, no Cad. And on the opposite side here for Team Dynamics, it will just be the top 5 that you always do see. They don't have any subs, which is actually pretty common from a challenger team. And yeah, we'll see. This team of Team Dynamics, we really need to see them against more of the top level of the LCK. I think that will really begin to give us a better taste of, exactly how good this team is. As we're going to take a look at the key player matchup, I think in part because of the trash talk that DYN threw out there, Viper is actually performing pretty well on a team that is not performing at all.
Yeah, and Viper is basically the one-man carry. Well, not one man. He does have Lehens with him, but he's going to be the main pillar if they can have a chance at winning here tonight. And DYN, the stats on the right-hand side, 6th, 7th, 8th, 7th, and 7th. Dynamics, a lot of their wins are very team-focused.
Yeah.
In the majority of cases. And we'll see if Viper and Lehens can actually manage to pull something off here in tonight's series, as they've been really struggling to find it. And it's so interesting because right now in the meta, a lot of the AD carries are actually some of the focal points, but it's not the kind of meta where the AD carry and support completely dictates the pace of everything.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And so it is interesting to see how those AD carries interact in the current meta with their teams. And when I first saw the roster of Team Hanwha Life, to be honest, I was a little bit surprised, but at the same time not, because I felt that, in my mind, I thought that best top laner performing right now seemed to be Dudu, whereas the best jungler for the team seemed to be Haru. So I was thinking maybe you want to mix it up and maybe put them together. But oftentimes here in the LCK guys, they try to keep top and jungle together because of, they have to work together. They have to work together on ganks. They have to communicate a lot. And so they want to keep that synergy going between the top and jungle oftentimes, as we're going to get into the pick and ban for game 1.
Well, Aatrox is being banned away first, and that's it. I mean, Dynamics, in game number 2, they're going to want to...
Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that the end?
Rich is going to be on a different champion this time around.
Lucian.
Yuumi and Varus have been banned away by Dynamics. Will they ban away Ezreal or Aphelios here? Is the big question.
Or Karma or Set? Aphelios is going to be the answer. And immediately they just pick up Karma.
Yeah, Karma B1 is one of the strongest B1 picks that exists in the current meta, and it's because of her versatility and power. It's very awkward to try to respond to this because Karma, she fulfills many molds. There's not a real theme that's going on here, so it's really hard to sort of start the layering process. As Ezreal being hovered right now by Dynamics. They're going to lock that one in.
Yeah, definitely the most powerful AD carry that is left available out of the ones that are still here and not banned. Also takes away Karma Ezreal as a duo, not just in the bottom side, but just in general for the team. As we saw that Set was hovered there for just a moment, but then they went with Olaf.
Well, Kai'Sa now being hovered, and Set being hovered as well. And that'll most likely be for Cuvée.
Is this the salty run back from Viper? Or does he really believe, he himself, not any of the other teams or AD carries, believe that Kai'Sa is truly as strong as the amount of times he's picked it seems to indicate? Because he is just running it back over and over. We saw it not work in their last series.
And Galio being hovered and locked in here for Dynamics. And the thing is that Kai'Sa, I don't really know what to say about her. I think that picking her that early, B2B3, there's not enough information in order to lock her in that early. And also, the setup that she wants with other champions is kind of hard to come by. I mean, I guess Set can follow her into the backline with a teammate, or Set can set up for her.
Wow.
Yeah. Not trying
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Hope Karma doesn't come back to bite me,
I'm glad you took this time, the 30 minutes, to rest and get your puns ready.
Yeah.
For the cast. Very well prepared.
I was sitting up here on the desk like a gargoyle the whole time thinking about it.
Okay.
Honestly, it wasn't that difficult.
Yeah.
As Volibear got banned away by Hanwha Life, as Volibear does do pretty good into Set. And Elise is going to be banned by Dynamics, which is a little bit surprising, given they already had they already had Olaf locked in. I'm not sure what they're thinking about there in that regard. Now the thing is that because Karma can go mid lane, this makes it a little bit awkward for Dynamics They might just actually have to choose their support here if they want to retain counter pick. Oh,
Okay.
it's going to be support Galio.
Yeah. Mixing it up here. That is one thing I like about Team Dynamics. They like to mix up their drafts. They're not very one-dimensional. And they're willing to flex very often. Kai'Sa's best mate, Nautilus. Thinking about being picked here.
Well, yeah, Nautilus getting locked in, and so it'll be Kai'Sa Nautilus for Hanwha Life. And we'll see what ends up happening here as their final pick for jungle. Wow, it's going to be Kindred. So if they lock this in, Kindred did originally, again, rise to power as an answer to Galio once upon a time, but Galio is not the centerpiece of Dynamics' team composition by any means. And I mean, Set can carry someone out of the Kindred ultimate. That is something that's nice.
Yeah.
He can superplex them out, but at the same time, Azir can push you out. So, lots of bizarre stuff going on here. Rich is hovering Jace, and is going to lock in Jace, I guess, up against Set. Oh, no. Going to lock in the Mordekaiser. And this is a matchup that Set actually wins.
Yes.
But not sure who will actually win this one, as weird as that sounds. Rich and Cuvée.
I don't know what it is with the Mordekaisers today. They all seem to kind of fall flat. There are times where we're like, hey, Mordekaiser wasn't so bad.
Yep.
They needed some AP in the comp. That is not the case for Team Dynamics, who have AP and true damage. And some physical, obviously, from Ezreal. Definitely interesting to see him coming in there, especially, you know, we talked about some players like to pick for lane, some like to pick for the comp and the identity, but he loses lane. And it'll be interesting to see how it does with this composition.
I mean, with his ultimate, he is able to rip Kindred away in the team fights. Maybe something that he's going for. Well, Nautilus, Kai'Sa, Karma, Kindred, and Set for Hanwha Life. This team composition, it is a bit all over the place with stuff that it's trying to achieve. I don't really feel like it has a very core identity. The mid-jungle dynamic, I mean, it's something, but I don't think it's necessarily stronger than the opponents, and they picked them into their opponents, so that's what's a little bit strange. The set for the Kai'Sa setup, I guess, is something too. It's not a very big core identity. I really don't know what to make of Hanwha Life's comp.
It's kind of like, okay, the Set can set up for the Viper engage, and the Kindred keeps Viper alive. Lehens engages for Viper, and then Lava gives Viper shields so that Viper can carry in the later stage. That's what I think is that's their composition. I think I nailed it there.
I think you really did too, and I think that as a reward, we're seeing the World Cone advertisement really
also
quick.
TikTok. Do you have a TikTok, LS?
No, I don't. And you know what? I'm not friends with Kesha, so.
Okay, me neither. I wonder how many people understand that reference.
I was, I mean, I think
how many kids know who Kesha is?
I think even if you were born in 2000 or something, 2001, TikTok was everywhere. If you go on YouTube, so here's actually a little funny mini game.
It's like 2010, right?
TikTok? Or
2009? 2009?
2009, I think.
Yeah, 2009 or 2010.
Yeah. The funny thing about TikTok is, so YouTube was in its infant stages back then, and generally songs that we consider iconic and we expect to have lots and lots of views on YouTube don't. But if you go on TikTok, that really does stand out.
Yeah.
As here we go.
Okay. Guger he was not expecting that. Had a little sheepish smile as well in the webcam window down there.
We'll see how this bot lane ends up going. As we'll see what Lehens and Viper can actually manage to do inside of this lane. They're going to give over the ward kill to Viper, starting with the sweeper lens. Meanwhile, up top lane, it looks like Set's doing actually just fine. Olaf going to full clear his jungle. Kindred doing red into Gromp. Oh no. Red into blue. And now I'm unsure what Kindred's actually going to... Okay, so red into blue into Gromp. Is going to be the clear path for Kindred. And now it looks like Haru gonna make his way back around into his red side jungle and hope that he RNGs the mark on the bottom river.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the role. You gotta go. You're either gonna get one or none. Usually in the beginning for the Kindred.
I don't know what Beyond's doing. He's just running around in a circle, wasting a lot of time on this Olaf, and for some reason Kindred is outspeeding him. It's not a good look.
Did he go blue, Gromp, red? Wolves, Raptors?
No?
No. Okay.
And now he's gonna run over to the left-hand side, and you can see Karma's trying to move over as well. They know Haru's here. And they also got the bottom crab. Okay, honestly, Beyond is...
Yeah.
Beyond anything I can understand.
Okay.
This game with the pathing.
Yeah, I don't know. He looks a little bit lost. That's for sure. And he is going to get that first mark over to Haru, who is going to be spotted at least. The flash in. They're going for this as Rich is looking to turn it around. Beyond flashes in. But you're up against Set. I mean, you're not really going to win that trade. I think he should have just stood there and stopped Rich from dying instead of trying to get in and actually win the trade.
Yeah, definitely a little bit strange. Now, Rich is coming back with double cloth armor. Set is going to have a much stronger recall here in this lane. Lava just coming on over to the right-hand side, placing a ward down, has the Chalice. A little bit of magic resistance here inside of this lane.
Are you seeing the CS? Crazy. He hit every one under the turret. It was pretty nice. I was impressed.
Well, Olaf is, he's not impressed as he makes his way back over to the Wolf Camp. Infernal Dragons, first one of the game. And Cuvée has a longsword and a ruby crystal.
Yeah.
And so we'll see where he ends up going. I'm very surprised that he doesn't just get some form of magic resist early on, given that it's Mordekaiser and Azir. And so it's going to carry over even into the other later stages of the game. Hanwha Life now looking like they just want to pick up this Infernal Dragon very quickly. Seems like there's not going to be a response by Dynamics.
Yeah, they don't really have any interest in getting in there and trying to take the Drake away. Even though they do have the Olaf in their comp, they really make too big of a move towards that. Beyond is just over here stealing some of the camps away instead. Gonna go ahead and take all the wolves. Doesn't leave a Bambi. Some nice vision control out of Hanwha Life after they take that Drake as well. They know everything that's going on around the bottom side.
And we'll see as Beyond just takes the blast cone over. He's going to make his way now over to his golems. And he's just trying to power farm on Olaf. Not really looking for anything else.
There's another mark here.
That's the second mark for Kindred. And things can definitely get a little bit chaotic. Getting 2 marks super early on. Cloud Dragon going to be coming up next here in this game, and not a whole lot is honestly going on. We might have to channel Vanilla Ice Cream at some point this game.
Well, speaking of which, they're getting pretty aggressive in the enemy jungle. I thought maybe they'd go for a little cheeky dive, but doesn't seem like it. Just going to take away the objective and be happy with that. It does feel like even though there's not much happening, the lanes are doing really well for Hanwha Life.
Yeah.
Bottom is winning. You know,
Top's winning.
Putting on that pressure. Top as well is winning as it should. Mid going even, but it's hard to deny an Azir from much CS, so there's that.
Well, Rich is pushing in. It seems like he's waiting for this next wave to arrive, and then he'll just hard shove and crash.
GD just let that cannon die.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he's playing as reserved as he is. Because Mordekaiser doesn't have lethal on him at that point. And Beyond is just going to land an undertow really quick. Cube trying to get some intel for his team. Rift Herald finally has been spawned. So Beyond probably not even going to be able to actually take it with how the lanes are probably about to go and the fact that Lehens is on the left-hand side. So we're just coasting towards a pretty standardized mid-game. And all things considered, I mean, somehow, some way, Rich has recovered in top lane. I don't even know how this happened. This doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I think it comes from Cuve's passivity, right? He's giving up CS. He's just essentially letting it happen, I think, in many different ways. As it does look like Team Dynamics, though, are letting the Rift Heralds happen because of seeing Lehens being there very early on. They're just going to push bot and get some plates instead.
So at the end of it all, Rich has now found himself with a CS advantage, even after all those minions are consumed. And Duckdom and Guger almost actually got 2 turret plates. So a whole lot of nothing happening in this game, and yet a whole lot of something. As Hanwha Life have lost all their real edges. Which is very strange. Okay, Black Cleaver on set.
Yeah.
Take it away, Valdez.
Wait, would you have rather seen it on the Kindred? Or you just didn't want to see it at all?
Just don't want to see it at all.
I mean, he's got Kindred and Kai'Sa, though. Doesn't that... Okay, well, we're going to have to have that discussion later, as Guger might just die here. Aftershock helping him for a bit, but the heal is going to help him at the end. And he will actually get away.
Still a worthwhile trade for Hanwha Life. Haru going to come in here now. And yet another Scuttle Crab going over to Kindred. Been finding a lot of aid in that department. Almost has the Warrior enchant. I mean, Beyond does already have the Cinderhold, so this Dragon with Galio coming back into lane and also having his ultimate available, it could go the way of Dynamics because Kuzan's going to come off of a teleport.
Yeah, you would imagine they'd try to make a play at it.
Yeah, the thing here, once again, in regards to set itemization, because it's been a while since spring.
Yeah.
Is you're oftentimes single target damage, and set does his whole combo, doesn't get benefit from all the stacks, and then tries to W and deal true damage. So,
the Azir.
Yeah, the Azir.
Guger giving a little Teemo thumbs up.
Getting the Cloud Dragon, and it's going to be Ocean that spawns in this game as, okay. Rich is sitting pretty right now.
Yeah, he's really
in the
turned
top
around
lane.
that top lane. The first 3 or 4 levels were pretty difficult for him. You remember the gank from Haru at level 4 also happened where it was kind of botched. Beyond, flashed in, and it was a really awkward situation. But after that, he's really taking control of the lane. Everything seems to be going well for Team Dynamics from here on out. The bottom side still a bit ahead in terms of CS, but they haven't extended their lead from the earlier parts of the game. Their aggressive maneuvers have also failed. And you can see the gold difference over time. It's not too big of a deal this early on, but still trying to make that happen. It's funny how little damage Cube does early on in this game, as Mordekaiser are actually pretty tanky overall, going for the arm guard first. And that Rift Herald, by the way, is Shelly, and it might not even get a charge here, or it's going to get a little itty-bitty one. Here we go.
Well,
still is going to give all that gold over to Hart.
A little bit of a charge. Still, at the end of the day, Dynamics are up 200 gold right now, but that Infernal Dragon is obviously making that not really matter all that much. And here we go!
Yeah, he's just going to get immediately burst down. Gonna push through the magic shield. Not gonna affect Kai'Sa too much, and immediately he just gets burst down. You gotta be careful just walking up to lane if you don't have any vision at all. I mean, they've only got river vision, so you gotta at least keep it in your mind that there is a possibility that Lehens is still around. Nice little tricky play from Lehens that picks up first blood for the Kai'Sa. That's gonna be key when a lot of your comp is built around your Kai'Sa in Viper.
And we'll see what else ends up happening in this game. And just take a look at that. I mean, Lehens just weaves it in. Really simple. Nothing really that Ezreal could do. They even get the Galio ultimate out of Googer. And Cube now, I mean, he's just continuing to get shoved in. And so this is, I mean, I'll even highlight the argument about, like, oh, well, Black Cleaver is cheaper than Trinity Force. Well, he didn't need the Black Cleaver yet. He wouldn't need it 5 minutes from now, or 10. So Trinity Force could have just been completed. And the other thing about it is that the armor shred, even after you fully apply it and your follow-up damage, the Spellblade procs would deal more than you could do on your own. So unless your teammates are really getting in on that armor shred with you as well, all the attack speed amp converting into passive usages for set, the base MS not requiring you to get the rage passive, all these other things. Black Cleaver's just it's always a head scratcher item. It's like seeing Stoneplate on Ornn. Superplex!
Oh, here we go. Immediate flash at a Rich. You gotta respect that play. Actually, pretty much any time after set is level 6. It's very simple to set up, as it doesn't even require flash up against a melee champion especially. As there weren't any plates taken down, just 5 total, of which 4 did give gold.
And this is one of the really cool things about Karma. She has 2 of her core items completed, when Azir has 1.
Yeah.
So
15 minutes, by the way.
This is one of the super benefits of the way that she's able to itemize and how oppressive and strong she is with these items. So, Ardent Sensor, one of the most gigabusted broken items in the entire game. If you ever go and actually look at the stats and everything that it provides for the gold cost. Death Realm.
Well.
Yeah, Rich is not going to be able to find a kill.
That,
Barrage.
yeah, it doesn't disable the turrets, guys.
No?
So.
Oh, okay, they're just dead again.
Probably don't want
Oh,
to
that's
use
so
there.
nice.
They're going to get the knock-up on a both, and Duckdom is going to fall low, but he actually does trade the kill back onto the Nautilus at least. Haru gets low as well. Woo. But everybody is going to survive here on the side of Hanwha Life outside of the Nautilus. 2 for 1, and they pick up the turret here for Viper.
Yeah, so obviously this was not expected by Hanwha Life. They had the Kindred there with Lamb's Respite. And so probably not anticipating that this would be the end result. And now, Dynamics, they're going to come down, start the Ocean Dragon. Let's take a look at this replay one more time. Cannon gets eaten, and Duckdom could not get, I mean, they couldn't get all of the minions down, but they did trade that 1 kill. So, making the best of a bad situation.
Yeah.
almost has the Iceborne Gauntlet here on Ezreal. Leandri's on Mordekaiser. Trelio's also on Galio, and the gold score is virtually even. Rich does not have Death Realm, but here comes Galio.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, says Galio, comes in there, but now Haru's in position. Rich doesn't have his flash, but ends up not needing it, actually. Here comes Duckdom, is looking to run them down as Ezreal does. He's going to land that one. There's the big flash taunt, but there's no follow-up. The Kindred ultimate, a little bit awkward. They're really trying to force this one with the TP coming in. That is a huge Emperor's Divide from Kuzan to get the one. It's just unfortunate. Again, there wasn't much of a follow-up after that. Ends up being a 1-for-1 so far. They're still chasing after Viper.
Whoa!
That was a nice move by Kuzan. He's looking smooth right now on the Azir. Gonna pull in Lava, who will survive for quite a while. They're trying to burst him down. There's the double knockup from Lehens, just handing over 2 kills to the Kaisa. And now Duckdom's in a really awkward spot. He should, okay, he's gonna be able to get away, but actually, Cuvée is going to put him in his own version of the Death Chamber. And there you go, 5-0-2 for Viper. And he's going to be the guy you're going to look forward to carry this game.
Yeah, and so this is a good series of events for Hanwha Life, even after it should have been cataclysmic for their game state. Initially, Galio ultimate comes out, Death Grasp right there, Lehens forced to use his stopwatch. Haru does not have the damage to kill Mordekaiser there. And you can see they all turn it around. Guger eventually flashes forward. And Kuzan, waiting for his opening, ends up going for the Shurima Shuffle, throwing everyone back, and then they make the decision to go on Lava, whereas Cuvée would have been a sitting duck, or he would have had to have blown his flash at the very least. And then right here, really good shifting Sands. Sand Soldier not able to do enough damage, and then Rich misses the Obliterate, and that actually causes Lava to live.
Yeah.
So
that's insane.
Yeah, Lehen's able to get there and do a lot of value. I think as we come back into live, though, it's not the end of the world for Dynamics by any means.
It was just really messy. Like, that is not a straightforward fight.
Right,
that one lasted from the enemy red for Hanwha Life all the way to their own tier 2. And just went miles.
Dynamics, I mean, they did get the Mountain Dragon, or the Ocean Dragon, and they're only 800 gold behind right now. Actually, probably less than that as Rich consumes this entire wave. So it's about 800, 700 gold is the deficit. Kindred building Black Cleaver to, I have no idea. I'm not going to pretend to. As QSS also picked up on set. When, if you itemize right on set, if Mordekaiser Death Realms you can just beat him inside it.
Yeah.
Or you can live throughout the duration. There's no reason to stifle your build this hard.
I mean, it offers you some MR, at least. I don't...
True.
That's the one saving grace, I guess.
I mean, against 4 sources of magic damage, though, I mean, even Adaptive Helm at this point would be so insane.
You can use the gold for a better MR item if you're just looking at MR.
And Kuzan with the Leandries on the Azir. Very surprising.
Lehen's maybe a little bit bloodthirsty after his success earlier with the engagements onto Ezreal. This is a very different time compared to the laning phase where you had Viper right next to you.
So the very weird thing here is I don't know how Hanwha Life is ever supposed to engage outside of Nautilus. And even once they do engage with Nautilus, you can't get past Azir.
Yeah.
And the Galio is going to part the Red Sea. And you can call it Guger Moses at that point, as this is what I was referring to in the champ select, and that Hanwha Life's, there's no identity. It's just a random thrown together series of 5 champions.
It's just 4 champions that can help Viper. That's what it feels like. Trying to get in the back line, here's Cuvée. He's got a stopwatch, so at least he'll survive for that long. Forces out the Lambs Respite in a really awkward spot, though. Juve trying to line it up, but he's going to go down. Rich in the back line, and the dominoes fall. And down they go like flies, as is only Viper left available. We've seen this before for Hanwha Life, a very awkward engage from the top side of the map here, and Team Dynamics are just going to happily take that, run along with it to the Baron very early on.
I think Kuzan has TP. Oh, 2 seconds. I don't know if he's going to use it. No, doesn't look like he's actually going to use it, so they're just going to let them get the Ocean Dragon, which I mean, obviously it's a bit of a blunder. You just saw they did not need every member there to get that Baron, so they easily could have prevented this. The superplex by Cube, I have no idea what he's doing. Absolutely none. Lamb's fight comes out, Mordekaiser says, you know what, you're coming with me to the Death Realm.
Yeah.
Set just goes down instantaneously, and Lava getting brought down too. I mean, Dynamics' champions are just better, pretty much.
Better champs, better comp.
And also at that fight, their spikes were so much more impactful on their champions as well. So now with Baron, they're going to have the opportunity to get themselves quite a lot of golden resources. Should be able to, at the very least, raise the tier 1 in mid lane, and Set is now stuck on his itemization, by the way, because of the QSS.
Yeah, good luck getting any other item. I mean, he's not even really farming. He's looking for a behind-the-back engage here. He's going to find Duck Dom, but immediately TP comes in. Looks like that might be Shirelia's there for the Galio. Just trying to push everyone forward. They're not going to dive the turret, but the engage is not going to work. At least they get the flash out of Duck Dom. We're looking on the bright side of life here for Hanwha Life.
And the next item for Rich is probably just going to be completing the Zhonya's Hourglass, as he's been sitting on Seekers the entire game. Viper is at 2 items, waiting for the Miramana spike to kick in for the Kai'Sa. Not sure how far away Lava is on Death Cap, but gonna maybe be mid-tier 2 falling. No. So in terms of a Baron power play, it's not super massive. Really good itemization, by the way. Beyond picked up a Knight's Vow to make it so that it's that much harder for Kai'Sa to actually gun down one of the carries.
Yeah.
In the backline. So
we saw in the last fight what Kai'Sa was able to do. I mean, again, it was a really awkward engage, but your AD carry has 3 core items, and he's 5-0-2, and still not really able to put a huge dent. I just imagine if it was Aphelios that was 5-0-2 in that situation.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going to have so much more success. Like Viper on Kai'Sa, he's going to have a lot more backline access, and if you're winning and you can, you know, get these very straightforward engages, then maybe, but in situations like this, the Kai'Sa doesn't look so strong.
The reason that they're picking Kai'Sa is Kai'Sa in a vacuum answers Ezreal. The problem is that Kai'Sa answered Ezreal at a point in the meta where Death's Dance was not a thing. So not only is Ezreal tankier than Kai'Sa remembers, this is not the same Kai'Sa from the heyday of Worlds in terms of the stats and how quickly she can come online and other things that are also prevalent inside of the meta. And so even when she jumps into the backline, it's an Ezreal that has lifesteal, resistances, Frozen Heart even, or Iceborne Gauntlet, sorry.
Yeah.
On top of it all. And so Duck Dom's able to live a lot on his own, but then the Galio ult comes out, gives him Magic Shield. And how does Kai'Sa get an assassination off? And the answer is, well, she doesn't really do that. And then she's so short range as well. Hold on.
Okay, trying to force this onto Rich, but he's Mordekaiser, so he can isolate himself. He's going to try to run out of this one. That's not the properly timed anchor. The dredge line will not land to Guger, and they end up taking a lot more damage than actually Team Dynamics did at the end of the day. And they're still looking for that really great engage, but the last 2 or 3 of them have not really been so strong, to be honest. I mean, even with Kive coming in from behind, isolating the AD carry, they still don't really have a follow-up. afterwards. So it has looked kind of awkward with their composition, which is what we talked about. Now, at least for Hanwha Life, Team Dynamics aren't on sole point here, as they could have been. If they had just split up 3 and 2, you know, a tank and a couple of damage dealers, or 4 and 1, you know. Like,
yeah, 4 and 1 would have been more than enough to just stall the Kai'Sa and then eventually reset and get to the Dragon. Yeah. Really like this graphic.
Yeah, we get to see all the cooldowns here.
2 seconds until the Dragon's up. And it's going to be available now. And I mean, Cube has not been farming for the longest time. He is very, very starved on economy. And obviously, that is unfortunate. They're pulling the Dragon out. This will make Kindred have to commit that much harder into the pit if she wants to go for a steal. Cube, I don't know what... All right, there it is.
Trying to force it onto Kusan, but he immediately is able to stopwatch and just tries to wombo combo, and Lava's just being pushed out of the fight entirely. Viper, once again, we've seen this so many times, he is left all alone, and at least Haru is going to avoid the snipe arena there as they're rotating mid.
I think they can end?
I think if all of them went mid right away, they could end. But instead,
yeah, I think if
taking the safe way out.
Yeah, if they all went mid, I think they... Well, actually, you know what? Kindred would cast Lamb's Respite in front of the 2 Nexus turrets, stand in it, and just kill all the minions, I guess?
Yeah. There are ways, I suppose. This is definitely much safer. Because you're already winning by a lot.
Yeah, you're winning by so much, and honestly, I mean, that engage, it really just... It was the hallmark definition of what we were talking about, where, okay, set runs forward, Kai'Sa goes in, cleanses the exhaust, not enough damage. And then Dynamics just stand their ground. So there's no way to really penetrate this Phalanx. Set is a useless champion at trying to do it, and Kai'Sa doesn't offer enough, so it's really a pretty big blunder all around. And they didn't need to take that team fight, by the way. That was not a do-or-die team fight. They needed to take over the 3rd Dragon for Dynamics.
Yeah.
They could have just waited, let Deathcap come online for Lava, try to get a little bit more items, and then have the do-or-die team fight. But really just reckless decision out of them. And
yeah, they're not thinking that far ahead. They have Lehens in position, and they're like, maybe this is our chance. Maybe we can engage. Our Kai'Sa's really strong. If we get a good engage, we can still win. But it's not really the case, as we have seen. They're going to try to force another one here, try to get onto the Ezreal, but he has so much room. And the Red Sea is parted, even without the Galio ultimate. They're just going to chase him down here. They've got Olaf, Azir, they have Ezreal. But actually, Hanwha Life is going to be able to get away for now with the minions that will push onto the objectives regardless.
And they're all pushing into mid now. Rich is going to move down to bottom lane, tap these minions as well. Viper trying his best, janitor duty. I mean, Cube is teleporting. I mean, it just really won't work.
Yeah.
Even if he tries to find an engage. And the other thing that's making this very problematic for Hanwha Life is the double Ocean Dragon is actually, you know, it's doing a little bit here and helping their sustain during their Baron Siege.
Sure. How about a little bit more? Redemption comes down. Will Hanwha Life ever find the Miracle Engage? It's not looking likely.
I mean, now Karma is on cooldown with her ultimate, and so there's no real way to have a team fight. They're just bringing in all of the minions, double cannon, a super, and I mean top even falls. So this is going to be triple inhibitor, and they're going to back off, it looks like. So if you want to talk about Captain Careful, they are wearing biohazard suits here. I don't know what to say. This is definitely all she wrote. Look at the itemization out of Ezreal, too. Even more magic resistant. Why does Kai'Sa have a Morello?
just to piss you off, Ellis. Just, I don't see the rhyme or reason at all. They're like, Ellis is casting today. You know what? We already lost this one. Let's build a Morel and Omicron. That'll get them.
Oh man.
I mean, like, you gotta cut down on the Ocean Drake healing, the Ocean Soul healing. That's eventually gonna come in.
You know what? That's a good. I mean, by the time they get Ocean Soul, though, the game's over. The fact that Kaisa has the Morello is not really gonna do anything.
Look at that.
He's in no man's land right now.
Yeah, Nautilus is lost.
Oh, he went to the river.
Oh, it makes sense. Yeah, that's true.
He's really on theme right now.
Just trying to get back
I am
to his
lore
plans.
specialist, after all, so.
Exactly.
Please.
You understand these things.
Here he comes, like Godzilla.
Okay.
King of the monsters.
Give is also actually going to be put in the Death Realm. And look at the zoning out of the Gallios, like insane. You're never getting near anyone in the back line, as 3 members even are going to be taunted up before these turrets go down. And that should be the end of the game. Very careful here from Team Dynamics. Actually, Viper getting his revenge onto a couple, gets 2. He's still going in there, but it's not quite enough. That's still going to be the end here. 33 minutes in, Team Dynamics are going to put an end to the Nexus and an end to Hanwha Life here in this first game. And once again, it did kind of feel like a team effort from the side of Team Dynamics.
Yeah, it really was a team effort. There's no individual player here, I think, that necessarily stands.
Kuzan.
I guess Kuzan?
I would vote Kuzan personally.
Yeah, I voted. You stole my vote. It's fine.
I just coerced you into perhaps
not that
voting, for the correct person.
Okay, thank you.
Kuzan did have he was one of the players, especially in the early game, that just looked on point compared to some of his teammates that looked very lethargic out of the gate, kind of like, still asleep.
Yeah.
But they eventually woke up, and even though they have this like slow, methodical style, it is very effective, especially against whatever it was that Hanwha Life was throwing together.
Well, the bot lane, obviously, for Hanwha Life, yet again, were the only ones that were really performing. I mean, this team composition, I'm not even going to say it's a draft. It was... I don't know what that was. There was not a whole lot of synergy with it. It wasn't trying to achieve anything or interact with the opponents, and it was very, very one-sided. It reminded me of Game 1 of the first series of today.
Yeah.
And Viper is actually in Elo Hell right now. He's in Loser's Queue. If you know what that is?
Yeah.
Where they just try to make you lose.
Yeah, there's
the algorithm.
no way to win.
Yeah. Wow.
You got your team Yasuo, you have Teemo support. Yeah.
That is true.
You've got, Aurelion Sol, first-time player in the mid lane. Yeah. It does feel pretty bad for Viper. I mean, it's obvious that he's playing well.
Your Aurelion Sol is like, what is
Mine?
No, the dragon.
Oh. From
cartoon.
The last.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Enemy Team Aurelion Sol is
about.
Shenron, though.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. But guys, that was pretty one-sided. We'll see if Hanwha Life can come back with something a bit stronger for game number 2. Or will Team Dynamics slowly but surely close out the draft here, as they looked pretty good today. Team Dynamics very clean in their match. And we'll see if they can finish it off here in the next fight, guys. So we'll be back after a quick break.
플래시 조심해. 세트.
세트 근데 이거 플래시 빠진 거야. 지금 플래시 빠진 거야.
노플이야.
내가 잡을게.
뒤에 노틸 뒤에 노틸 뒤에 노틸.
나 봐줘.
어.
노틸부터 볼래?
야나
이거 앞라인 모델 쪽
아
가.
모델 쪽 갈게. 모델 쪽 갈게.
잡았어. 야 천천히 하면 끝난다.
야 빨리 마. 여기 빨리 마. 타워 얘들아 타워.
끝내자.
아 끝내면 될 듯.
죽였어.
네 나이스. 야 죽여버려.
죽여.
잠깐만. 죄송해요. 이퍼형
야,
진짜
타워
죽여야 돼.
오야
하나 둘 셋 하면 라모스 따봉하는 거야. 하나 둘 셋.
아, 내가
나이스.